Many thanks, Jack. Now I suppose we better get on with the race.
Yes, I think a few things to do. Congratulations, Jack Hinksman. Thank you very much. Ted Thomas, Karen Evans for being here. Pole winner, Peter Brock. Congratulations to all the drivers. All the best. And right now, we return you to Mike Raymond.
Thank you very much, Gary Wilkinson. And of course, there's still some cars to show you, and there it is. You're not going to believe it. Overnight, car number 17. It's a new car. It's not the one crashed yesterday. You wouldn't know the difference. Dick Johnson, and a huge roar goes up from the crowd here at Mount Panorama. Just look at the rival crews, all waving to Dick Johnson, and a tremendous atmosphere here at Mount Panorama. As Johnson takes his place in the field, let's have a look at the cars that will start from positions 41 to 58 from Steve Raymond.
Starting position number 41 is the father and son combination of Barry and Glenn Seaton. Barry, a superb engineer, and Glenn, 18 years of age, first time at Bathurst. Their Capri is number 55. Starting 42, car 39 from Victoria, John Bundy and Norman Carr in a Mazda. Position 43, the Ford Capri, number 56, lead driver John Craft, partnered by Don Smith. On grid 44 is car 32, officially sponsored by the Government of Tasmania. Both rookies driving in a Mazda, Johnny Walker and Gene Cook. Starting from the number 45th spot is the XE Falcon, numbered 40. Again, two Victorians, James Finico and Tony Hubbard. Number 46 in the field comes from Dick Johnson country. Queenslanders John Donnelly and Ian McGee in their number 29 Falcon. Grid 47, car 64, the Capri, driven by Les Gross and Alan Cant. Starting 48 will be car 59, another Victorian pairing, Laurie Nelson and Peter Jones. Position 49 in car 51, the Mazda Rotary, Tony Mulverhill, to be co-driven by John Murden. Grid 50, car 45, a Commodore entered from Queensland. Drivers Gary Hinton and Lester Smurden. At least these drivers will get a great view of the start. Berth 51 is the Alfa Romeo number 58, driven by Ray Golson and Gerard Murphy. Position 52 allocated to car 61, the Gemini. Victorian drivers John White and Bernie McClure. Next is car 52, the Mazda RX-7, down from the Gold Coast, Ron and David Gross. Position 54, car 57, Laurie Hazelton, Jerry Strawberg in yet another of the popular Ford Capris. Grid 55 is the starting position for car 62, the Daily Planet Celica, driven by Victorian Craig Bradkey and Bob Holden. Starting 56 will be car 42, the Mazda RX-7 of Terry Ryan and Graham Storer. Next, Chris Heyer and Don Bretlin in their Audi 5+5. Car 63 will start from position 57. Subject to confirmation, car 30, the Mazda driven by Tony Kavich and Paul Jones, will start Bathurst 83 from position 58.
And here he is, and just look at the marshals around the circuit and the spectators up on top of the mountain giving him such a tremendous cheer. This will be a corner that Dick might treat just a little bit gingerly today. This is where he had the problem yesterday, hit those tyres, the back of the car got into the wall. But Dick Johnson has made the starting grid for the 1983 James Hardy 1000. And that's the only practice he's going to be able to get in the car before the start of the race today. And when Johnson pulled out onto the racetrack, he got an absolute hero's reception as he came onto the circuit and took up the run to the top of the mountain. I think everyone across Australia, and certainly all our Queensland viewers watching today, our telecast of the James Hardy, are pleased to see this man in the field for the 1983 race. He's coming up now behind the cars. You will probably get an idea now of just how far back the field goes to position number 58. They, in fact, start on Conrod Straight. And the big problem for Dick Johnson now is to make sure he doesn't run over any foreign objects, anything in the grass there that might puncture a tyre before the start of the race. After all the work they've been able to put into the car, that would be unforgivable. And still the crowd erupts as Johnson goes back in to the pit area, probably for a last-minute adjustment. We'll take a break now and then return for the start of the great race. The border favourite, 6-4 the field. Thank you very much, Gary Wilkinson. Well, we're building up to the final moments before the start of the 1983 James Hardy 1000 here at Mount Panorama at Bathurst. Let's go down onto the grid now and to Evan Green.
Did Gary say 5-2 Alan Moffat? Well, Alan Moffat, the first time I can recall you're not in the top 10, but speaking to the drivers up front, they all pick you as the man to beat. How do you feel about that?
I think they're overly concerned.
Well, you've got such a reputation. Everyone says you're foxing, that practice was not your true form.
Yes, well, Evan, they said we were foxing when we won the Touring Car Championship. For the benefit of the people that do follow us at home, I would like to make it very clear that every time we start our Peter Stuyvesant RX-7, we started to win. Sometimes we're on the front of the row, sometimes we're back a bit, but I've never been an advocate of cruising around, putting on a poor performance, whether we're in Symonds Plains, Perth, Adelaide, or Surfers, to get a better deal at camps. And we worked very hard all year. We've got a great team that have put a tremendous amount of effort into our car. And we had a few little setbacks in the week, and we didn't qualify as well as we want. Now, if the fellows in front of me are worried about that, well, that's my good luck, isn't it?
You happy with the car now?
I've got an extremely good car. It's the best car we've ever had. Just a few development problems with the 13B, and the fuel injection seemed to have some kind of animosity with the mountain. So we're not too sure that we've got the best performance that we really would like to have.
The one thing we can be sure of is Alan Moffat will give it the very best performance that Alan Moffat, 4 times winner, the ruling national touring car champion, can give. Over to you, Peter Werrett.
Thanks, Evan. Bob Morris did not have a drive at Bathurst. Now he's not only going to drive, he's actually in the top 10. Bob, how did you do it?
Well, it was, I guess it was one of those comedy of errors sort of thing where we were, I was walking past Alan Brown and they were having a few problems and asked me if I'd like to step into the car for a few laps, and that's how it all rolled. So here we are, and we're in number 9 grid position right beside Dick Johnson, and the car's quite good, and I think we're in there with a show.
You didn't even have to buy the drive, you just said, would you like to have a few rides?
Well, Alan Brown's like that, you know, he's a good sportsman, and he stepped out of the drive himself to allow me to run the car.
He said last year he wouldn't drive here again, and suddenly came back. It looks as if his predictions about himself's come true.
Probably is, yeah, he might be a fortune teller or something.
How does the car feel, Bob?
It feels quite nice. I've been out of it for so long that it's taken me a few laps to sort of get into the groove, and it'll probably take me a few laps in the race to settle down a little, and we're taking it to try and finish, not try and lead the race.
Good on you, Bob. Thanks very much for talking to us. Back to Evan.
Thank you very much. Well, I've just paid the penalty for being a bit enthusiastic. I leant on Dick Johnson's car. I'm covered in green paint. It's as fresh as that, Dick. But how is it mechanically?
Mechanically is one thing. It feels like a bit of a dog, but I suppose I've ridden a few dogs in my time, so we'll just do the best we can with it, Evan.
Are you likely to come into the pits fairly early on if there's some problem, just to get it tuned up and sorted out, or what sort of tactics do you propose?
Well, just after a couple of laps I did, the carburettor seems to be playing up, and if we have a problem in the early laps, I'll just call in and put another carburettor on it.
Whether you win or not, this must rank as one of the great efforts here at Mount Panorama.
Well, you know, it's only due to the fact that our guys are just so good that they'll work till they drop, those blokes.
You're doing it for Queensland too, aren't you?
Queensland and all the people out here and my sponsors.
Dick Johnson. Win or not, I think he's proved himself to be a real champion here at Bathurst. Okay, Peter Werrett, who have you got now?
Thank you very much, and a very emotional Dick Johnson. I don't think I need to speak on that anymore. The crew, the way that they've worked throughout the night to get a car to try and keep faith with the supporters of the Palmer Prudential Ford. There's quite a sea of activity. Well, let's go back now to the grid and see who else that Evan has to talk with.
George Fury.